It's here, it's Masters Week, it's the biggest season opener of the year. The Dope Stroke is, of course, coming along for the ride, taking you guys with us. We've got everything from picks that we like that are going to do well, analytics brought to you by Clip. We have a guest coming on to talk through it in Dan Davies, who is the Clipped savant. But before we get to that, let's catch up with the lads and see what's been happening, boys, in your Masters preparation week as we hit the major season. You got to be excited for what we got coming.
I am pumped for what's coming, and I am pumped for this particular week. This is the one major I watch the most, or it's actually the golf tournament I watch the most of during tournament week. So I am really pumped about what's coming this week. Cannot wait, and I haven't told my wife yet that it's Masters Week, and she's already been giving me grief for basically not even being in the room, both emotionally, physically, all that kind of stuff. So she's in for a tough week.
Another week, mate.
But she's taller than me, so it's fine.
But this is it's the best week, isn't it? It's been, when's the last major? What's it like, August?
Let's hit on that. They kind of screwed up the majors, haven't they?
Yeah,
I can't get into the batting order now. It's like you've got David Boone going in as opener. It's like, what are you guys doing? David Boone, shout out from a 90s cricket legend. I reckon no one who listens to this will know who it is, other than maybe the boys down in Australia. But, mate, he always bats number 3 or number 4, somewhere like that. They're throwing him in as the opening batsman. I have no idea what they're doing with these majors now, all over the freaking park.
I know, you watch it, the Masters is amazing. It's going to be an incredible tournament. There'll be some clips going around social media of what happened on Sunday, and you're watching those, and the other 3 majors have finished, and it's like, hang on, let me just experience the Masters first. Let me get over that one before the next one comes along. But it's all to do with the US, isn't it? And is it NFL or football or whatever? I don't know what it is, but they're all trying to get them done. But it's all. I'm sure it's all
because it makes the season also feel very short.
Yeah.
By July and the Open's played, it's like, oh, okay, what now then? All right, well, is it Ryder Cup this year? Nope. Okay, well, that's it then for the next year.
No.
Yeah.
It does suck.
You kill me. You lads hate on the President's Cup. President's Cup's legit,
It's
lads.
pointless. Mate, I'm from South Africa, and I'm telling you, it's fucking pointless.
What the hell? Hey, talking about scheduling and things that are a little funny, it's just got me thinking here. I went to a San Diego MLS Major League Soccer game last Saturday, right? And the kickoff is slated for 7:30. Obviously, if you go to a Prem game, the kickoff's at 3 or the kickoff's in the morning, and the freaking thing, boom, starts at 3. 7:37, they kick off this game of football at the MLS game. And I'm stood there, I'm with a few English lads, and I turn, I'm like, what's happening here? And they're like, well, America, innit? They've got to do the fanfare with the flames coming out the ground and sing the national anthem and all that. And one of the English boys I'm with didn't get up for the national anthem, which I was like, that's you got to get up for the national anthem. We're not even American, but you got to get up and get because that's also a funny one. You do the hand on the chest. And another scenario I had, which is obviously the shocker MLS game starting not on kickoff, so they don't care about TV times, whatever. National anthem comes on in America. You're obviously meant to remove your hat and look at the United States flag. Did you boys know that that's what you're meant to do if there's a US flag near? I didn't know you're meant to look at the US flag. So hat came off, put hat on chest, happy to go with it, love it, all about it. And I'm looking round and everyone's looking at me. And I'm like, why is everyone looking at me? One of the American boys goes, and I turn round, United States flag. Cheers, mate. Give it one of them. It's funny, the American boys are good. They don't give me a hard time for not fully knowing the protocol. And they, to be fair, help me out through it. So I do a shout out to America and the national anthem because I love it. We sing it all the time. I'm all about it. And obviously, hat off, hand over chest, look at the flag. Got it. Dealing with it. We can move on with the show now.
What was the score?
3-0, mate. And they scored 2 of those goals in minute 44. They scored 1 in the first 30 seconds. Then the game went a bit drab. Then they scored 2 at the end of the first half. We were sat around a lot of the Mexi boys, and there was a good atmosphere, to be fair. There's about 30,000 at the ground. It holds 35. They were playing Seattle Sounders, which are usually a good team. They're bottom of the conference side down there, or in the bottom third, so they're struggling a bit. But they didn't look good. But San Diego's got a couple of good players, and I mean, this team, to be fair, only got together 5-6 weeks ago, met, and now they're running top third in the table. They play a nice direct passing form. They got a couple of really good players, which I'm still having to name by numbers, unfortunately, rather than names, because I mean I enjoy the American football, but it's not quite the same.
There is some rumours, though, with Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, he could be flying out to San Diego.
Oh, really?
Yeah, plying his trade over there. That's a high profile one because he's still legit. I know he gets injured a few times.
Look, I'll be honest.
He's legit.
I'll be honest. I still love watching the Prem, and it works really good for West Coast time through to European time. But it's a good product that even I've lived in now 11 years. It's getting a lot better. To be fair, it's a good product.
MLS now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we could have a whole podcast on the MLS, but I'm a little limited on where I'm going. I think you two are more limited than me. So I don't want to turn the Dope Stroke Masters Week into an MLS. Let's not do that.
Oh, man.
Let me just tell you what I did last week briefly, and then we'll move on, because this is back to golf now. I got invited by Jonathan Draycott to his golf academy just south of Oxford. So it's like an hour from me. He's got coaching bay. In this coaching bay, he's got everything, like high tech, as you can imagine. So one of the things he's got in there is gears. So anyone who follows golf will know gears as the 8 cameras that are around the room. You put on a suit, it's got the markers on, you do a little calibration, you hit shots, and it tracks you. And I've seen gears, never been on it. And I mean, we could do a whole podcast on gears, but what it can do is just phenomenal. And I just think the more we embrace this technology and we kind of digest it as coaches and we pass it on to the students in the best way possible, it can only help. Because what it made me realize when I'm looking at this gear system, I'm asking the guy loads of questions about what it measures and what it doesn't measure. It basically measures everything. And straight away in my head, I'm thinking there's like 6 or 7 golf sayings or theories that I hear day in, day out, which can just be like debunked straight away by looking at this data. And there's so many things that are just holding people back because they think that's what they should be doing. And the more we measure, the more we just get to know exactly what is happening. I just think it's so powerful, and it's going in a good place, golf. Like, I don't think you want to be taking that data and just like regurgitating it back onto the amateur. You've got to, pass that knowledge on in the right way so it's digestible. But it's so good, boys.
Just explain gears a little bit for me, will you? Just to keep it simple. How does the process work? You put the markers on still and all that jazz?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, we had the first 3D system outside of America at the Belfry. And I worked on that room, kind of ran that room for a little bit, but it was really kind of early stages, a bit temperamental. It was good when it was good, but it was a bit fiddly. This thing's great. He took my golf club, he calibrated my golf club, and then you basically put a suit on. You put a hat on with markers on, like a little top. I mean, you don't realise you're wearing it. And you literally stand on the mat, pose, they take a capture, and you're done. Like, it takes 30 seconds.
So then, it's still the same system it has been. Has AI come into that now a little bit more?
I don't think so. But it basically creates, obviously, an avatar of you, and it can track all of your joints, and it gives you all the values for those. But then you can basically say, what's this part of my body doing relative to this? And you can just, monitor those. And it's just endless what it can do. Basically, if you can imagine a measurement, it can do it. And it's just great for just actually figuring out what is happening, as opposed to anecdotally what people have kind of said over the years about, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. I just think it just made me realise that golf is going in the right way, and amateurs will get a lot better. I'm just conscious that it needs to be conveyed in the right way. That's all.
And 100%, and that's what makes you a good coach, to be fair. Because if you don't convey the information the right way, you can put yourself in a straitjacket, which, in all fairness, the closet over there for me, I'm actually away in a hotel room at the moment, but it has probably 11 straitjackets that I've had to bring from home. Because if you start seeing the wrong coach and they don't manage that information for you, which, look, I took the lid off years ago and just got the rabbit hole and just dived straight into it. I go round with 11 straitjackets and a rabbit warren that comes round with me for how screwed up I am. So I get it. Gears, I love. I'm glad you went and not me. And I shall ask you more questions that hopefully you will filter the answers to me.
You need one of those, I don't know what it's called, one of those things they have in Men in Black, where you just go like, beep.
100%.
Like, wipes. That's what you need.
Definitely.
And then start
Definitely.
again.
So, Daryl, we're you can talk a little bit about splash sports and what we have coming, and then I think we should not keep the viewers waiting. I think we should dive into Double D, Dan Davies from Clipped, talk a little bit about what he's bringing. I shall touch on Clipped because, lads, you know I love this product. It is a shot quality number. 100 is tour average. 200 is a perfect golf shot. Dan is going to maybe throw out some shot quality numbers, which breaks down the form of players. I have looked at his very, very detailed document about the Masters. This is insane. If you do follow this, there's a strong chance you could be picking some absolute winners, which Mr. Darrell Evans can explain what we have going on with Splash Sports, and then we shall get into it with Double D.
Okay, yeah, we have the Dope Stroke season opener. It's basically a pick a bunch of players and you get a chance to win a load of dough. It's as simple as that. Basically, there's 8 buckets. You pick one player from each bucket, and it's the top 7 results that count towards your overall score. Should you happen to win, you will pick up a share of $25,000, which is guaranteed, by the way. First place for that is $5,000. So it's a really cool little thing to do. A bit of fun. It should be something that everyone should be able to do, provided you're over 18, because it is gambling. But with that in mind, there is only a limited number of entries. So you do want to make sure that you get your $25 in sooner rather than later. Definitely needs to happen. Well, you probably want to do this before Thursday, because Thursday's round 1 of the Masters. So you want to get your hedge bets in now, take some action and go from there. But we are going to get some insights from Dan Davies on some of the guys that might be looking good to win this particular week.
Do you know what? The Masters is the best major of the year for me. But imagine watching the Masters over the weekend, that incredible golf tournament, the top players, and then getting excited about your picks, tracking them, who's made the cut, who's charging, who's making some birdies. Like, it just doesn't get better than that, does it?
Let's do it, boys. 25 G's in the pot. Double D, bringing it. Let's get to him. So let's get into this unbelievable document. The man himself, the Clipped Messiah, is with us. You've been spending a lot of time on this thing, mate. This is ridiculous. Tell us what we've got here.
Well, I've looked at every single player in the field of the Masters, Trottie, and I've sort of tried to distill the important information. So, like, what their recent form in the Masters has been, how they've been playing in 2025, looking at some of the highlights of their play this season, a few highlights from 24, and then I think the really key things, we have got things like, how many missed cuts they've had at the Masters, what their best finish is, what their stroke average is. And then I've put low rounds for people who've shot 67 or better, because I do think that is an important tell if you've got the ability to go low at Augusta, and you've proven that in the past. And then we've got some clip data for about 10 or 12 of the players that we really think are going to perform. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it, narrowing them down? But yeah, we've got a lot of information there. There's stuff on every single player in the field. So hopefully those people who are going to be entering the Dope Stroke podcast sweep are going to be well informed to make their selections.
Don't answer this just yet, Dan, because we'll save it at the end of the podcast. Don't answer this just yet, but have you got a name in mind? Just keep it to yourself, but have you got a name in mind?
You know what? I've been thinking about this all morning. Yes, I have got a name in mind. Yeah.
Okay, we'll save that.
My whole thing on this is I look down at this sheet and I go through it and peruse the names. Is what are we going to do when everyone who's entering the Dope Stroke podcast looks at this thing and everyone picks the same team? I mean, if you're going off this clip data, which, like I said, as I've told you boys at the top of the show, I ain't been outside the top 5 yet. You know where my picks are going. If I go down with this, I don't think any of you got hope in hell of beating me from 7 names from 8. No chance. No chance.
That sounds like a side bet. Sounds like you're doing a press here, to be fair, Trottie. We haven't even started the game. Hey.
So the splash, what we're alluding to, and we touched on it briefly in the introduction there, is we've got a splash sports spread bet. There are 8 different categories and 7 different players that will count from your 8. So as you go through this, I mean, I've just stopped here at Aaron Rye straight out the gate. He's not got much Masters experience. In fact, he's got no Masters experience. But that fella's golf game, we know from looking at clip data, suits the golf course. So you do get, as you go into this document, a little bit of a brief as to what's going on. You get some callbacks as to how they perform. Obviously, in that place, you don't get anything with Aaron Rye. But that's an interesting name that you could throw out there. Dependent on the tier that they fit into, with Splash Sports. So how recent, Dan, is this information, and how long did it take you to put this together?
Well, the information goes up until we haven't updated it from the weekend's tournament in Texas because there weren't that many players playing. We probably will, when we add the clip data to the piece on clip.com, we will make sure that is right up to date for the, including the tournament that finished at the weekend. In terms of how long it took, it's probably taken about 3 days, to be honest with you. But, I do generally tend to fund the Betfair Christmas party with my betting around the Masters. So they would have been very disappointed had I not put this amount of time in because they're expecting some really high quality champagne there this year.
So you could get even deeper into this. I mean, obviously last week, Brian Harman winning. Congratulations to the Daryl and I, the under 5'8" group of men on this earth. Shows that we're still fighting strong. Did you guys see that he was using that new tailor-made putter with the no torque, or it's torque back face lie angle balanced is what they're going for. We know it's out there. We've seen it before. I shall allow one of you three to comment on that and what you see fit there. But the toe of it, I assume, points straight vertical up to the sky. And then the guy immediately had some success. Won the Open Championship at Hoylake and a baller underneath 5'8.5".
Do you think his wife is taller than him? Because I think that's the true sign, right?
Right,
if you're short and your wife is taller than you, you've got game. That's what I'm thinking. So great that you're good on the golf course, but what are you like off the golf course?
It's like Billy Joel. Billy Joel went out with Christy Brinkley, didn't she? And she was about 6'3", and I think he was about 5'2".
Really? Yeah.
Rod Stewart's a gamer in that department.
Yeah.
And you've got to go back and add those 3 days of work now and add the wife's height.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dan, I'm very disappointed on a half job here. I mean, I was expecting a lot more from you, to be fair, in the data. You've let us down.
Sorry about that, Darryl. I mean, there's obviously an important correlation between spouse height and Masters finishes, and that's been borne out over many, many years.
You know, if you included that, you would have been going for the top level champagne at your party, but I'm not so sure now.
I've definitely let you boys down. Sorry about that.
That was, and no other betting podcast, no other podcast, no one else in the game of golf is covering that piece of data. That's what makes us unique here at the Dope Stroke.
So, in summary, we're all saying congratulations to Brian Harman for being born on the course.
I think it's all sewn up. I think Harman's going to be adding some new toys to his farm in Georgia.
So I think why don't we pick a name? And I'm gonna, because I've got the chair here this morning, Bobsy. I've just got off to a flying start with you. I want to pick Ludwig Aberg, and just because I'm all about business at the moment, he's wearing this brand new Adidas Originals get up. Bobsy, you're a bit of a man on the old threads. You got to be loving what he's coming out in next week.
I saw that there's some new. Is it limited? It's got to be a limited range, the Adidas Originals. And I know, well, I first heard about it when you actually went over to Germany, didn't you? And you saw it there. And then I'm this year wearing Adidas. And I heard about it from them. I saw some picture of it. It looks obviously super cool. It's a little bit different. I'm interested to see how Ludwig can pull it off. Is there anyone else wearing it this week, or is it just him?
For the apparel going forward, there's only been him and Lynn Grant, and Lynn Grant obviously cannot play in the Masters because she's female and this is a male tournament. I also don't know how tall Ludwig Aberg's spouse is. I don't think she's taller than him because he's actually really big. So he's losing points there. But Lynn shall be representing on the female side. And having sat down with Lynn in Germany as well, those of you that listen to the Dope Stroke podcast, she's actually a really nice girl, to be fair. Scottish heritage. Scandinavian, which makes her cool instantly. So obviously those two people being Scandies, they get straight into the cool Adidas Originals gear. Them and your good self, Mr. Turkey Teeth, you shall surely be in that.
Well, I'm. I mean, this could be for another podcast about fashion and golf, but I am all for it. Bringing a bit of style, a bit of uniqueness into golf, and yeah, do you know what? Golf does follow the fashion trends. You know, you look back over the years of what the Arnold Palmers were wearing and. Back in the day, you know, I think it's good that golf is showing a bit of forward thinking and introducing a bit of Adidas Originals. I like it. I'm all for it.
I do want to ask this, right? So, as you mentioned, which I do appreciate, mate, and this is a serious question. Like you say, you go to Germany, you talk about Ludwig. He's front and centre. He gets himself a win. I'm just obviously looking at Dan's document here, which you can find over on clip.com. Well done, Dan. 3 days of work. And it's 2025, won the Genesis at Torrey Pines, T5th at Century, miscut the players. So all this is clipped Dan's information. 2024, 9 top 10 finishes on the PGA Tour, including second at the Masters, T12 at the US Open. Stroke average at this golf course, 70.25, best finish second. That bio, now he's young, he's bold, he's fantastic, he's wearing the gear, he's going to look the part. But that comes, as we know, with commitments, because you're in the press. You're in the press looking smart. You then have to attend certain parties to launch this stuff, hopefully, which probably your agent might get you out of. But as you look down the list, and there'll be countless podcasts and countless conversations and countless blogs talking about Ludwig, talking about how fantastic he is. You, as a coach, Chris, how would you manage that for the individual? And I mentioned Aaron Rai at the top, and obviously he plays coached by our friends at Me and My Golf. You're going in, no history for Aaron Rai, but we know he suits the golf course from the way he plays. Ludwig with a mountain of pressure, carrying Adidas's new launch on his shoulders. How do you go about doing that in the tournament and managing that stress and strain to go and get it done?
It's a great question, and I think the players of today, when I say today, I mean, this younger generation, Ludwig and Aaron, I think they're far better equipped to perform well in tournaments like this. And I've spoken about this before in this podcast. I feel like when you go back 20, 30, 40 years, you'd play the Masters, you'd be there, you'd be trying to figure out what to hit off the tee, what's the best line to hit into the greens, where's the best miss, where do you want to leave it on 6, where do you not want to miss it on 8? And, you go back 3, 4, 5 times to the Masters, and maybe after that period of time, you start to feel comfortable. You start to put a few rounds together under 70. And then you maybe get to the point where you think, do you know what, I can win round here. That's not happening these days. People like Aaron, people like Ludwig will be going to this tournament for their first time. I know Ludwig played last year, it's his second time. They will already know before they step foot onto the turf where they're going to hit it on 1 and what the best line is into the green and where they don't want to miss it. And what they're going to hit off 4, what they're going to hit off 8. And yeah, that might change based on wind conditions or where they place the tees. But I just feel like they're not going out there they're not going out there making decisions in the middle of the fairway. It's already preset that, we know on 6, the flag's going to be here, you're going to hit it 20 feet right. And they're just basically going out there to execute a game plan. And someone like Aaron, we've got no idea how he's going to do, but you look at his game, so strong, like in every department, so mentally strong. There's no reason why he can't go ahead and make the cut, and have a good top 20 finish, even though he's never been there.
There has been a lot of rookies that have played well on their debuts, right? It's not like it's unusual. It's just probably more common that they have a really good first time experience and then go on to miss a whole bunch of cuts in the following 5-6 years.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that does happen, and I think there'll be a lot of expectation on Ludwig because of how he played last year when he was brilliant. I mean, he looked so relaxed in the last round, and after he dunked it in the water on 11, he just looked even more relaxed. He looked like he was enjoying it. But I think that that experience is wrapped up with making his debut at the Masters, isn't he, and performing better than anyone probably could have expected. He's definitely got the game for it. I mean, his iron play is superb. He drives the ball as well as anybody. His wedge play, I suppose, might be one of the areas of the game that people might look at and wonder about. But I agree with Daryl. I mean, a lot of players have a good start, good first time there, and then it's a bit hard to replicate. So, and I think that his form, and he's had a few injuries this season, I'm just a little bit wondering which Ludwig we'll see this week.
But you don't have to go far down the list, and I touched on Brian Harman. You go with a hot hand there. How about this one, Angel Cabrera? I mean, hold on a minute.
I've got him, written right here.
Yeah.
I mean, could there be a more controversial winner?
I mean, Dan, have you got a bit of insight as to, hasn't he? I mean, have I got this wrong? Hasn't he had a bit of a spell in prison?
He has been in prison, for part. That's why he hasn't played, I don't think, for the last 4 or 5 years, because he's been doing porridge down in Argentina. So, I think it's quite a big story that he's back, considering what he went to prison for. But he's got a hell of a record at Augusta, and he won on the seniors tour this weekend. So this last weekend. So he's coming in form, and obviously with something to prove. And he's got a good track record there. He's got a lot of top tens, and he lost a playoff and he's won it once. So yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the over 50s, he's probably he's got to be leader of the market in that. I would have thought easy.
His missus has got to be Andre the Giant. Can't sleep on Big Freddie though in the over 50s. I mean, Freddie, but he's not done well there in the last few years, has he? Just looking at this, but mate, Freddie loves it. Freddie's the man.
He always has a good round one, possibly round two, and then he makes it through the weekend fairly regularly, doesn't he? But that round one, he's always sort of top 15 or 20 after the first day.
Yeah,
that's my memories of him.
He's got an incredible record. I mean, some of the things, like he made the cut at the age of 63. He's made 31 cuts. He's had 11 top 10s. He's had 20 top 25s. And he's only missed the cut 8 times in 39 tournaments. I mean, that is ridiculous considering, a lot of those 39 have come after he's been 50.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how tall his wife is, to be fair.
Well, he's got
she
many
must
wives.
Be tall. Yeah. He must be smooth.
Right. Can I throw a name at you then?
Go on then.
So he's been mentioned before. Maybe not to win, but I certainly think to have a good week. Currently, PGA Tour this year, 3rd greens in regulation. We know that's important round Augusta. He's 19th strokes gained putting and 16th strokes gained around the greens. So he's good hitting the greens, good on the greens, good around the greens. He's had some good finishes. He's won this year. Russell Henley.
I was going to say, it's got to be Russell Henley. I'm having him too. He's a baller.
I keep looking at all the people. I can't look past him. He just seems to be ticking all of the boxes that I feel like you need to tick. And I think he's had some good results there. I saw from the clip that he's had like 10 out of it. I can't remember now. He's made 10 of the last 11 cuts or something. So he's obviously comfortable around the place.
Yeah, he's made the last 7. He's made the cut the last 7 times he's played. I think he's only missed it once. And he's starting to get better in the majors. His best finish at the Masters is T4th in 2023. So he's got some good recent experience there. He's got 5 PGA Tour wins under his belt. He won the Arnold Palmer this year on a tough course. So that shows, I think, that he can play on the tougher venues that they face each year. And he's got a bit of Augusta experience. The one sort of drawback might be that he doesn't drive the ball particularly well. He's at 98 in clipped at the moment, which is below tour average for driving the ball. But the rest of his game is really elite. I mean, he's 105 against 100 tour average for approach. He's 109 around the green, so that is very, very high. So I think if he can put the ball in the right place, he's not going to hit it out of the park because that's not his game. But he's got a lot of good experience there. He's a recent winner, as you said, in a big event this year, and he's got good Masters form. So yeah, he's definitely somebody in my top 10. If I was to bet on a top 10 finish, which I will be, which Betfair will be delighted with, Russell Henley will be in the mix.
Right.
I think Big D sent me a message this morning saying that this thing doesn't go live for Splash Sports until today. My worry, I think it's today, McD, is it? Or is it tomorrow?
Yeah, noon. Yeah, Joel said noon today, yeah.
Okay, so my biggest worry with that shout there, Bubsy, is that Henley fits in the same pool as Lowry. And I think that's a hard call. Who finishes higher, Lowry or Henley?
Who else is in that pool?
Don't know yet, because it's like we're saying, it's not out yet. It's coming out at noon today.
Okay.
But you're going to be looking at, it's the same as McIlroy and Scheffler. They're going to be in the same pool, aren't they? They have to be in the same tier because you're picking from 8 silos. So you're going to obviously. Every single conversation in today's podcast comes back to how tall your wife is. That is what's going to basically put you down to making those picks. That's
I
it.
think we're gonna have to do a top 10 when the results come out on Sunday. We're gonna have to figure out how tall the top 10 players' wives are.
I can do that analysis for you. I'll do that for the whole field over the next 3 days. It's going to take me a long time to do that. But I think that sort of top 10, that Henley, Lowry. I mean, Lowry is looking really good. He's had top 25s 4 of the last 5 years at Augusta. He's shot under 75 times, which I think is important.
He's trending.
He's had three top 10 finishes already this year. He's runner-up at Pebble Beach. And, his approach play particularly is looking really good at 107. I think he's good, but there's so many players in that little category, and I'd put Bob McIntyre in there. I'd put Tommy Fleetwood in there, and I'd put Sung Jae Im, who's somebody we've been looking at. He had a hot start to the season, but he has got a really good record at Augusta, and his game, he played brilliantly at Royal Melbourne a few years ago in the President's Cup, and I think that's a similar sort of test to Augusta, and I think he's got the chops to do very well. So that it'd be interesting to see who's in that bracket you talk about, because there's a lot of players. Akshay Bhatia is another one that I'd put in that as well.
I'm going to be honest here, mate. You're on player cam for Sung Jae Im and Ben An, because I've lost cash on those two characters this year, and Clip keeps telling me they're the man, and then it also keeps telling me that Lowry and Henry's the man. So you're on player cam for Ben An and Sung Jae Im. I'm not sure about them.
I'm not going to be betting on Ben An this. I've had my fingers burnt too many times this year. I mean, I should be wearing asbestos gloves, but I do think Sung Jae doesn't win enough. He's such a baller. He absolutely flushes it, and he's got good form round here. Let's just have a look at some of his record. Is very, very good. He's got three top 16s. It was tied second 2020. Tied 8th 2022. He shot 5 sub-70 rounds, and he shot 66 round there as well. But then again, he's missed 2 of 5 cuts. So, a bit like you're not quite sure which Sung Jae you're going to get. If you get a good one, I think he'll give you a run.
So that begs me to ask the question then, Dan, about who I think is always a good bet round the Masters or Augusta is Hideki. And I know he's MC'd the last couple of events he's competed in, but I don't know. He just seems to turn up at the Masters every year. He's got to be a good shout, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's top 20 in 8 of his last 10. I mean, he was tied 38th last year, which was poor, but that was that was just a sort of bit of an anomaly. But he's just been in and around almost every year for the last decade. 9 sub-70 rounds. Obviously, won it. He won it in 2021. He was low amateur in 2011. He's got loads of history with the plays. He loves it. And it brings out the best in him. I think a lot of the toughest examinations of golf, they do, like you said, Daryl, they bring the cream to the top. And I think Hideki's right in that top bracket alongside Morikawa, Rory, Scotty, and John Rahm, I think, this week. I think it's difficult to say that he's anywhere but in that top bracket.
You mentioned, sorry, Bubs, you've got to get it in there quick, because he mentions John Rahm. I think it's very difficult to look at live players, because we've got Bryson, we've got Rahmi. You keep going down the whole list here of the old live lads. I don't know how you categorise them. That's got to be hard to do, to be fair, when it comes to such a detailed document that you've sent us here. How did you go about doing that?
Well, it's difficult because we don't have the live data coming into Clip. So we've got their majors performances from last season and when they've played on the PGA Tour. So not the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour. So we've got a bit of information on people like Joaquin Niemann, who played a few tournaments, and others. But it's not a lot to be going on. And I think that with Rahm, I agree with you. And I think it's really problematic with people like Bryson at the moment, whose form seems to be, it's just very difficult to pinpoint where it is. But Rahm has finished in the top 10, was in the top 10 each year between 2018 and 2021. 16 subpar rounds, 12 sub-70 rounds. He's second on the live rankings this year. He's not, he hadn't finished outside the top 6 before Doral, I don't think, which, think about it what you like. I mean, he's never missed a cut in the Masters. And I think he's got something to prove this year. And I think that is going to be the great sort of intangible, if you like, because we don't have a lot of data to go on with Rahm. But I think it's difficult to put him outside of that top bracket.
Just quickly, I don't know if you boys know, what's the forecast this week? Because I know they've just delayed the Monday start through storms. Do you know what the forecast is? Because surely that's going to impact if the weather's going to be
that's going to
cold, windy.
It's going to be absolutely key, that. And I was going to look that up beforehand, but I ran out of time. But I think that if you see that the wind is up, and we saw it last year, it got really difficult at times. The course is going to be dry. It's going to be firm, which is, I think, how they want it. And I think it always makes for a fantastic tournament when it's like that. Mm-hmm. But if the wind gets up, you want to be studying that wind and when it's coming pretty closely, because if you get the wrong side of that, then that's going to make life very, very difficult, whoever you are.
Sounds like Daryl's bed sheets. Just going back there to Neiman. You actually went with Joaquin Is that how we say his first name? Is it Joaquin? Is that what we're
Joaquin.
doing here?
That's how I'd say it.
Yeah, that's right.
How would you
How
say
do you
it?
say it?
I've no idea. It's just all about putting things. This is a podcast, lads.
Go on, have a
I
go.
got to put it out.
Go on,
I
what
don't
would you
know.
say?
I might have had the J in there, but I don't know. I don't know.
Say
I'm
it.
just putting it
Say
out. No,
What?
I'd be like mates with him, so he'd be like Nemi meat, wouldn't he? I'd give it
Or, what are
Nemo.
you saying?
Nemo.
Is it called Joaquin?
So look, lads, we've got to put everyone on the pump here as we move on with our beautiful Dope Stroke podcast Masters editions, both supported by Splash Sports and, of course, Clipped with the legendary Dan Davies with us. So we're putting you under the pump now. We need to have everyone's got to pick a winner, baby. Who do we think in this group of 4 lads before we move on with the rest of the pod? Who if you stood there, Daryl's got you under the bed sheets because he's got the wind up at the wrong time in the wrong direction. Who are we going for?
Well, I'm going to go for Morikawa. He's been top 10 the last 3 years. Approach play, as we all know, makes up 33% of his importance to scoring. It's a big, big part. He's got a long way that he can improve in that currently. He's driving the ball brilliantly. He's at 115 at the moment for average shot quality for his driving. He's been top 10 the last 3 years. He's got 5 sub-70 rounds. I think he's just been knocking around all year. I know I'm going to regret not saying Scotty because his record is just unbelievable. I think he's been under par 16 or 20 rounds he's played at Augusta. But I am going to go for Colin Morikawa.
Good.
Good shot. Go on, Dazzler.
I think, and you've mentioned his name already, to be fair, Dan, but I've got a feeling Jon Rahm is going to get it done this year. Although I don't really want to ride out McIlroy straight away. I know he doesn't really have the most colourful of record at Augusta in terms of actually closing it out for a win, but he's in great form. But I'm still going to stick with Jon Rahm. Like you said, hasn't finished outside the top 10 in any live event since I think he's been there, actually. It's like a really amazing record. So I'm going to go Jon Rahm. Bubs, what about you?
So I've gone more with my head. Obviously, I'd love someone like Rory to win, but looking at stats, looking at performances, and sort of, I looked at the type of golf that I think he's winning, and that's why I've gone Russell Henley. I think not only has he got the right stats in the right place, but I've heard that he feels as if the next step is a major. And he's determined to do whatever it takes. And the word is that he's currently having an affair with a tall girl just to try and...
Well, he's in there.
Steady.
He's in it.
Do you know what I'm most impressed about there from your 3 given answers is that you just all went with one player, and you know that, like, I'm going to give you more of a thought process. Bubsy, you knew I couldn't just come up here with one.
Yeah, do you not want to give us yours at like 6 p.m. on Sunday?
Exactly. I'd like to.
When they're on the back nine.
There's a lot of heat on me. A lot of heat. I'm in the top 5 here with my man Dan as like my little sidecar hero. So Dan will understand why I'm going down this route. I've been talking to Dan the last few weeks, and he knows I'm all hot and horny on Shane Lowry. My heart wants to say Shane Lowry, and he knows that. The sleeper that we've got in here, and we haven't mentioned, there's 2 of them, but I'm not picking them, but they're 2 sleepers, and I think Dan will understand my pick when I come to it. Scheffler, Schauffele, Xander, and Morikawa. Absolute sleepers for me, which they're not that sleepy, but they're sort of like afternoon napping. That's where they're at. And the one that I'm going to go with, and again, through conversations with Dan, I think he'll understand why I'm going with this, is actually Justin Thomas. That's going to be, if I've got to pick one, I'm going with JT. And Dan, I mean, we've been talking, haven't we, all year doing these clip things. You take away, he's been good.
He's been really good, and his stats have been showing up all season in terms of the form charts. And while, the last couple of years, he missed the last 2 cuts, but he'd not missed one before that. He shot a lot of good rounds at the Masters, a lot of rounds in the 60s. He shot 66, he shot 3 67s. He's been knocking on the door all this year. He's had a couple of odd ones, like he shot, I think, a 78 first round at the Players, then hit back with a 62, which just shows where his best is at. It's right back to his best. And I think he'd be a very worthy winner. And I also don't think that, obviously he's going to have to hold 5 and 6 foot putts, but it's not like putting is the be all and end all at the Masters, at Augusta. He's driving the ball really well. He's at 105. His approach play is 100. His approach play is 105. His short game is at 106, and it has been as high as 115. and he's putting really well at the moment. He's really trending up for putting. So I think he's going to be feeling good about himself. I think if he can get a good first round under his belt, it's going to be so important, having missed a cut the last 2 weeks. But, you know, he's somebody at the end of last year, Trottie, we said that he was going to win again in 2025. And it would be fitting to see him get a green jacket, I think.
Fantastic. Danny boy, I'm going to be chatting to the powers that be at Dope Stroke. I think there's a bid here for the fourth chair.
Well, boys, it's always a pleasure to come on with you, and especially in the greatest week of the second greatest week after the RNGC Invitational, the second greatest week of the golfing year. I mean, like, I don't know how excited you boys are, but I am literally like a child in a sweet shop.
Mate, I love it. And that's what we expect with people that live and breathe and bleed and die for the game. Double D, you're a legend. Thank you so much for your effort on all this. We really appreciate it. Guys, everything is going to be in the description of this. You can get a link to Dan's work, also to other areas where you can find Dan Davies. He is down there. He writes a blog, right, about golf. I've read a few of them. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I write a blog called The Sacred Acre on Substack, which is a bit about the golf course I've created in the orchard at the back of our rented house, which the owners don't know about. And I also I write on clip.com, which is where you can find this sort of player-by-player guide. So just go to clip.com and hit stories at the top, and then you'll find that. And I hope everyone enjoys the Masters. Thanks for having me on, boys.
Top man. Cheers, Danny boy. Take care,
Cheers.
mate.
Cheers.
Right, so you've got all the information you need now. You know who to pick, who's going to do well, who to avoid, and you need to head over to the Splash website to get your entries in. Now, we've got another special guest. Now, what you don't know is that this person is always on the podcast. He just sits there in the background with his camera off and his mic off, but we've allowed him to come on today. He's paid us all handsomely to get this opportunity. So, Lloyd, welcome. And why are you here?
Thanks, lads. I've been waiting for this moment my entire career. It's finally come. So, I've got for you a little Augusta quiz. You're not really supposed to say Masters, we'll get in trouble. So, we've got 10 questions here, which I'm hoping you boys can answer. And basically, we're trying to find out who is the dopest Augusta fan out of the three of you. Now, you need pen and paper. You just need to write down a quick answer. And then we'll go through the scores at the end and basically get 1 point for every question you get right. And I do have a tiebreaker if we need it. Okay? We're going to go through the 10 questions first, and then we'll come back and we'll find out who says what and who's got the points.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
I'm getting
Question
0 here.
one, let's go.
I'm getting 10.
Modest, aren't you?
You see.
You gotta like think it to make it happen. If you don't go in there thinking it's going to happen, you got no freaking
You're coming
stone.
into double your height and double your strength, aren't you? That's what you're doing right now.
I am the
all
best
mental.
putter in the world.
All right,
That's
all
another
right, all right.
podcast. That's another podcast. Louis. Woo.
All right. Can't be the butt of another joke.
All right, boys, all right. Let's go. Question number one. It's an easy one. Question number one. When was the first Masters tournament held?
That's not
A,
easy.
1929, B, 1934, C, 1941, or D, 1950? You've got 5 seconds to write this down.
I don't think that's easy either, to be honest.
No, I
It's not easy, no.
don't. Okay.
Everyone got an answer?
Do you just want the number or do you want A, B, or C, or D?
Up to you.
Okay.
Actually, no, write down the number.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, good?
got it. Yep.
Okay, question number 2. Who was the first player to win the Masters with a sudden death playoff?
Jesus
Gary
Christ. I mean,
Jack Nicklaus,
Blimey.
Fozzie Zola, or Tom Watson?
Fuzzy Zola. Who's Zola? Fuzzy Zola, lad.
Zella, then.
mate,
Before my time.
these are...
10 out of 10 is a Trottie.
Yeah, he's going to make us look like proper tossers here.
Okay.
Death playoff.
Okay, next.
Everyone got an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realise I had to be a golf historian. I mean,
Oh.
In 2024, how much did the famous pimento cheese sandwich that Daryl loves so much cost? $2.10, $1.50, $3, or 99 cents?
you know why you've done us here? Because the answers are all quite close.
Yeah, that's right. There's no obvious features, is there?
No.
Come on, boys.
Number one was too close, but I think I've got it, but it was too close. All right, next. I might not
Everyone
get that.
answer?
I've got that wrong. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know the answer. I've had a guess. Yeah.
Right, mate, I've guessed all three so far.
Yeah.
Question 4. Who holds the record for the lowest round ever shots at the Masters? Jordan Spieth, Tiger Woods, Greg Norman, or John Rahm?
Lowest ever round?
Yep.
I think I can name the year as well. Do I get the bonus points for the year?
No, you don't.
God.
Okay.
Right, I've got mine written
Got
down.
that?
Yeah.
Question 5. How many strokes under par was Dustin Johnson when he set the Masters scoring record in 2020? Minus 18, minus 19, minus 20, or minus 21? You should get this one.
No,
Yeah, we
get
should.
this one. Should get this
Yeah.
one, lads.
Let me just get the encyclopedia out. Yeah, we'll get that one.
All good?
No, carry on.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Question 6. Which Masters champion
Now,
accidentally
hold on a
left
minute
green-
here. Hold on a
Whoa.
minute. Hold on. Whoa. We should have read out the answers to this, because if it's on a podcast, you're not going to know what the answers are, or have you been reading them out?
Very good question.
I've been reading them out, mate. Come on.
Okay,
It's not
good.
my first rodeo. It's not my first rodeo.
All
There you
right,
go.
go on then, prick.
Question 6. Which Masters champion accidentally left his green jacket in a Toronto airport, leading to Augusta National changing its policy on taking the jacket off club grounds? Was it Jack Nicklaus, Seve Ballesteros, Gary Player, or Arnold Palmer?
My God, Lloyd.
I thought this was going to be a bit more like, is the 18th a dogleg right or left?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is difficult. Okay, next.
I'm going to make it too easy for you. Question 7. Who was the first non-American golfer to win the Masters? Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, Greg Norman, or Bernhard Langer? Daryl's best mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
I think that's the only... Oh, hang on a minute. I almost got that wrong as well.
Okay.
Almost a trick question.
Question
Yeah.
number 8. In what year did Phil Mickelson win his first Masters title? 2000, 2002, 2004, or 2006?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I feel your pain.
Okay.
Next up.
Question 9. What was unusual about the green jacket awarded to Sam Snead for his 1949 Masters win? Was it A, the wrong size, B, it was borrowed from a club member, C, it was missing the Masters logo, or D, it was originally red?
I'm pretty certain there could be a tiebreaker here, by the way.
0
Not in a good way.
10 out of 10 was a huge call, wasn't it? It was so huge.
Oh,
And-
double your height, yeah.
The last question. Who was the first Masters champion to receive a record-setting $3 million prize payout for winning? Was it Tiger Woods, Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, or Dustin Johnson?
Oh, God.
This could be embarrassing.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, we're going to look like absolute idiots on this.
This went from feeling like my golf game to being my golf game.
Okay.
Right.
So, have we all written down some answers for all the questions, yeah?
Yeah, but I don't know
Yeah.
any right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, be honest now, and we'll figure out who the answers. So question 1. The answer was 1934.
Yes!
I'm one out of one. I'm one out of one.
So far.
So you all got one question right, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Question number 2. The answer was
Yes!
Ozzy
Yes, I got that one as
Zola.
well. Oh,
I'm proving it,
fire
look.
here.
Fuzzy.
No, I'm not. Did well, didn't he? Fair play.
Oh,
I had Gary Player.
Okay, basically he won in 1979 against Ed Snead and Tom Watson.
I've just birdied the first and eagled the second, basically.
Nice, good start.
You got
Okay,
2 as well,
question-
Daryl, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Question 3 was $1.50. Who got that?
Got that one wrong.
I'm 3 for 3, boys.
It was 210. Well done. Look at this, Bubs.
3
I
for
went
3.
210.
I birdied the
Okay.
third.
Oh,
Okie dokie.
Oh,
Question
59,
4.
59 watch.
Oh.
59 watch.
Question 4. Greg Norman holds the course record.
got
I
that
had
At
the
lowest
year-
round, 63 in 1996.
Yep.
I had the
4.
year as well, and you wouldn't give
4
it
for
me.
4.
So you've all got
I
a question
wanted,
right?
I
Buzz is
wanted
leading
bonus
away.
points, Lloyd. I wanted bonus points. He didn't win the tournament either.
No, he
You
didn't.
need the bonus points. Sorry, Daz, you say you got that right?
I got that one right. Yeah, I got 3 out of
Okay,
4
cool.
so far.
2 out of 4.
Okey-dokey. Question 5. How many strokes under par was Dustin Johnson? The answer was
Got this one.
-20, and the total score was 268. Who got that right?
I got that
Big
one
guy,
right.
right.
That was me.
21.
Chris?
No, I got
21.
21.
Okie dokie. Question number 6. It was Gary Player.
Yeah.
He took his green jacket home to South Africa. However, after mistakenly leaving it in the Toronto airport, Augusta national officials enforced a new rule. Champions can only take their jackets off club grounds for 1 year after winning, and after that, they must remain at Augusta.
So where's the jacket now? Did that jacket get stolen or returned?
I have no idea on that one. I'll do some research for you for the next episode.
You can't come out here with questions like this and not have that answer. I got that right. I'm 3 for 6.
But apparently
Okay,
they were going to change.
that's-
They were going to change the rule again, so the jackets had to be taken off-site because they had reports of random people trying other people's jackets on.
So, Chris,
man.
did you get that right, Chris?
I did get that right.
And Dazzler?
No, I got that one wrong.
Okie dokie.
I got it
Question
right.
7.
3 out of 6.
Who was the first non-American? Again, Gary Player. Won in 1961.
I'm flying
Yeah, I got it
here.
right.
Yep, I got 4.
Hey, Bubs is smashing this.
I am.
Okie dokie. Question 8. In what year did Phil Mickelson win his first Masters title? It was 2004.
No,
Who was that?
Decided there.
2002.
6. I got.
Gopster?
Yeah, up at
Oh,
6.
none of you got it right. Okay, cool.
No, no.
Okay, question 9. What was unusual about the green jacket awarded to Sam Snead? Well, it was borrowed from a club member. He was the first person to be awarded the jacket,
one.
but there wasn't actually one officially. So who got that right?
Yep, me.
Yep, me too.
I thought they were all borrowed from a club member until you got sized out for it.
No, they're all sized out in advance normally.
So how's Woozy? So Woosnam's jacket, you do it when you turn up or something?
I don't know how it actually works, but I imagine you must, on site, you get there and they take your measurements on site. I imagine. I don't know. That's a good question for the.
We need to
find
find that
out.
out.
Yeah,
We should
that'd be a
ask
good one
one
to
of the
find
boys
out.
who's won it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And the last question, which right now we're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chris is on 7.
I'm on
Darryl
4.
is
I got
on
no
6, and Trottie's on 4. So this could either be a tie break, or Chris is running away a bit. It's probably a pretty easy question as well.
Oh yeah.
Who was the first Masters champion to receive a record-setting $3 million? That was John Rahm last year.
I got that one right as well, but Bubs did too.
Bubsy?
Oh.
Okay. So
Did you get
Bubsy
it?
is the.
Bubs, you got John Rahm, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
There we go. So Bubsy is the undisputed dope Augusta fan.
Can
Well done.
What does he get for that then?
Congratulations and a pat on the back.
I would. I'd like to thank the green staff. I think the course is in excellent condition. I'd like to thank the catering staff for the food and all have a safe journey home. That's the speech, isn't it? After a win.
That's right.
Yep.
Standard
I'm gonna-
procedure.
I'm going to give you a bonus point for everybody.
Hang on.
Now,
I already got my bonus point. 1996, Greg Norman.
Okay,
now
last.
we've got the tiebreaker question that I want to get out there because I think it'll be quite an interesting one.
I know what's coming here.
Well, how do you know what's coming?
I just know. Go for it.
Go. Quick game's a good game.
For the nearest yard, how many yards did the 2000 last season's Masters course play to the nearest yard?
So how long was the course, basically? It's the nearest yard.
Yeah.
Are we writing this down? Or are we just saying it out loud?
Write it down, and then we can go through who you think it is. And I'm going to give you 100 yards difference, just to be nice.
It'll be the nearest, wouldn't it? So whoever's the nearest to the number.
Yep. Okay. Well, okay.
I'm ready to go.
Nearest to the number.
Go
We-
for it, Darryl.
We had
I'm
a
going to go
quiz.
super long.
We set out the rules. I won. I refused in front of it.
Winner takes all, isn't it? Yeah.
Alright,
It's
yeah,
like playing
Darryl.
football back in
Daryl, how far are you saying this course is?
I'm saying 7,362.
162. Bubsy?
I want to take my ball home. I'm done. I'm like, I won. I've gone 7,420.
Okay, Trotster.
So my number was right in the middle, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go 7,421, just because my number was right in the
21.
middle.
Okay. The answer is 7,555.
Trottie finally wins something.
Yeah, but
Don't know what to tell you, boys. Lucky.
one more. That's just a coward's
Yeah.
answer.
Strategy. Why do you think I went last? Listen, you kicked my ass in the quiz. I kick your ass in the tiebreaker. Tiebreaker takes all. You couldn't take the heat, my boy.
It's not next goal wins. It's not under 5 football.
It's always next goal wins. Everyone knows that. Right, McDee's got to get out of here. Let's put a bow on this bad boy. McDee, you can go. All the best. Thanks for coming. Dan Davies, thanks for being part of this. Everyone out there, enjoy the Masters. Splash Sports, there is an app. We're going to have the link down in the description to the Dope Stroke season opening contest. 25 grand on the line with a $25 entry. 8 tiers. You've got to pick 7 players. Use the information in this podcast. See if you can beat the boys. We shall all be entering ourselves, or at least I will. That is for certain. And we'll see how the lads get on. Mr. Lloyd, thank you very much for being part of the fun, as always. Well thought out questions. Extremely difficult. Me and Bubsy are off for a game of shirts v skins. Last goal wins. Bubsy, see you out there. Cheers, lads.